Yes! Hello, FYC fans. We are live from Los Angeles here on Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel with a brand spanking new episode of FYC. And we are covering Best Actor today. So we are live. If you are watching us live, then please, let's go, Travis Earl. He's got it down. Join us and make sure you hit Perri up with a super chat question. Joining me as always on FYC is the amazing Perri Nemiroff and the mighty Jeff Snyder. So we're going to dive right into Best Actor. And now that we've seen more movies, we can give a more informed opinion of who's going to be nominated, who's close, and how things might shape up in the coming months leading up to the Academy Awards on March 10th, 2024. And whether or not we'll see actors at that award show, I guess this still is up in the air, but that's a whole other conversation. All right, Perri, we're going to start with you, my friend. You got number one for Best Actor.
So I will preface this by saying I have a feeling we'll wind up saying similar names, but our rankings are going to be all over the place. I am also fairly confident in 6 names, which obviously doesn't fit the 5 slots we need to fill. So I feel good about 6. I just want to say that at the start here.
Okay.
Also, we are predicting the most likely nominees, not necessarily the most likely people to go on to win. And
right.
Although that might change with this one. My number one right now, because, and I've said this before in previous episodes, because the movie is out, because the movie did really well, and because everyone was talking about him, my number one is Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Okay, that is an excellent choice for number one, Perri Nemiroff. Jeff Snyder, who do you got? Or actually, no, let me say, where does Cillian Murphy rank on your top 5?
Is he even in the top 5? Yes, no, he's number 2. He's number 2.
All right.
I was waiting, Jeff.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, see, this is what's great about Jeff. He holds his cards close to the vest, but you know that when he reveals his cards, you know that he's going to be completely honest with his picks. I too have Cillian Murphy at number 2. Now it's funny, Perri, because when I was first doing the list, I did have Cillian Murphy at number 1. I think he's absolutely going to get nominated. To your point, when you started the conversation, you know, just because we're ranking them, any one of these could likely win. We're not saying that the number one choice is absolutely going to win. So that's why my number one, like when I really thought about it and I changed it, I think, look, I've been Team Oppenheimer since last July. I absolutely think it's a front runner for Best Picture. I love the movie. I cannot wait to see it again. I know they're re-releasing it in IMAX theaters, I think this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But the performance, it's not like the performance is the movie where my number one choice, the performance kind of is the movie.
Before you get into your number one choice, man, I think Cillian Murphy could suffer from the fact that Oppenheimer does so well elsewhere, where they feel like they have to reward, where they want to spread the love around and reward someone else in this particular category, right?
I think that conversation is going to come into play after the fact. I have a feeling that Oppenheimer is going to get a ton of nominations and not necessarily a few wins, but that's why I preface this by saying, like, Cillian Murphy is my number one right now to get a nomination, but I do not think he's going to go on to win this award.
Okay, well, hang on. I mean, he might, or he might not. I think my number one choice has a better chance to actually win over Cillian. And Jeff, can you guess who my number one choice is?
I think I can.
Who is it?
Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers.
Paul Giamatti is not my number one choice.
Oh. Well, then you know what? You can hold yours because Paul Giamatti.
Mance, I want to guess.
Go ahead, Perri.
Your number one is Bradley Cooper for Maestro.
See, this is why Perri and I share the same brain, because Perri is right on point. Perri, you are absolutely right. That is what I call Perri normal activity just in time for Halloween. Yes, I do have Bradley Cooper as my number one. I just thought he was magnificent in Maestro. Bravo, take a bow. He was, and here's the thing. Between acting nominations and other nominations, can either of you or anyone watching, since we're live, who can guess without cheating, do not cheat, how many total Oscar nominations across the board Bradley Cooper already has? I was shocked when I saw this number. I didn't realize it was that high.
I was going to say, the way you're setting this up, it's going to be very, very high.
Seven.
Jeff, you say 7. Perri, what do you say?
That feels too high to me, but given how you're teeing this up, Mance, I feel like I have to go even higher. Can I play by the Price is Right rules?
Okay. Sure.
I will say 1 nomination, Mance.
1 nomination.
The chat's giving it up, right?
Yeah. It's all over the place at this point. It's 9.
He was nominated. Oh, I got to go to the comments. That's right. We're live.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was nominated for a whopping already 9 Academy Awards. 3 for Best Actor for A Star is Born, Silver Linings Playbook, and American Sniper. 1 for Supporting Actor for American Hustle. 1 for Adapted Screenplay for A Star is Born. Wow. And get this. This was shocking to me. 4, count them, 4 nominations for Best Picture on movies that he produced or was a producer on. Those are American Sniper, A Star is Born, which I was not shocked about. The other 2 were Nightmare Alley and Joker. He was a producer on Joker. I don't know if we ever discussed that.
Those are the 2 that I forgot: Joker and Nightmare Alley. That's
unbelievable. But when more people see Maestro, I think that with the conversation we had about it being Best Picture nomination, possibly a win, I think that the stronger win here will be for Bradley Cooper for Maestro. It's amazing. And Jeff, to your point, I have Paul Giamatti. Not at number 2, because that's Cillian Murphy. Not at number 3. Not at number 4. I have him at number 5.
Mine meld, man.
At number 1. I'm doing my number 1 spiel. That's it. It's time. Paul Giamatti, fantastic. A career, maybe defining performance. I mean, he should have gotten the award for Sideways. I don't know why we're underestimating him this season. The Holdovers is going to be a major contender, and Paul Giamatti is fantastic in it.
All right, Perri, go ahead.
I'm not underestimating Paul Giamatti. He is also my number 5 right now, but with the likelihood that he is going to climb in the ranks. Because what I've been saying about the Holdovers all along is that it's going to go up and up and up throughout the season. But going back to Bradley Cooper briefly, the reason why I have him at number 2 and not number 1 is because that movie has yet to be released. And I kind of need that extra foundation, that backing to make sure that there's enough support behind them. And in the case of, let's say, the Holdovers, I do, again, have the feeling that when that movie comes out, it's going to heavily benefit from word of mouth, how damn good it is and how wildly charming it is. And we're going to see Paul Giamatti go up and up and up. Whereas later in the season, I fear we are going to see Cillian Murphy's chances go down and down and down after he gets the nomination, of course.
All right. Again, Perri, my meld, same brain, and so on and so on. I agree with all of your points. And just to Perri's point, Jeff, just because I have Paul Giamatti at number 5, it is a strong number 5. The rankings could change, and I say this all the time. We are going to come back and redo Best Actor again. I think a lot of this depends on him going up, on the reaction that the Holdovers will have. It's an in-theaters movie all the way because of what it's about. It has it could become like an instant holiday, must-watch kind of a movie. Paul Giamatti has never been better, even though he is an Emmy winner for John Adams. He is a prior John Adams. Yeah, he went for John Adams. And he is a prior Oscar nominee for Cinderella Man for supporting actor that came out in 2005. And yes, Jeff, I agree. He absolutely should have been nominated for Sideways. That was a big snub for the year of 2004. And
there's no such thing as a strong number 5. You guys are BSing me right now, okay? There's no such thing.
I think yes, there's a strong. I can't
believe
6.
You guys don't have them at 3 or 4. I'm just saying
there's a very strong 6 here. I'll say that.
Okay.
Before we move on to another name, have a super chat. Travis has been waiting very patiently.
Travis is awesome. Travis, can I read Travis's question?
Have at it, man. Go for
Okay,
it.
so Travis Earl, first of all, you're the biggest Enterprise Incidents fan. Thank you so much for being an Enterpriser. Keep going boldly. Travis's question: what is the advanced buzz on Napoleon? Is Phoenix a lock? Great fucking question, Travis. Also, Mance, what's the buzz on next season of Enterprise Incidents? All right, second question, Travis. I'll hit you up separately about Enterprise Incidents, but you are right to bring up Joaquin Phoenix for Napoleon, directed by, of course, the great Ridley Scott. No one's seen the film, no idea if it's even coming out this year, because if the actors' strike is not settled by the end of next week, then they are going to move Napoleon to the summer. So we just have to wait and see.
What?
But,
is that you breaking news here on the
Yeah,
podcast?
I was going to say.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's what Jeff. That is what your pal Sharon Waxman said at the wrap. That if the strike is not wrapped by the end of next week, which is November 10th, then the studios will say, you know what, there is no way we're going to salvage the TV season now. And they're going to move all the big holiday season movies off to the summer, and they will not restart the talks again until January. That is what Sharon Waxman reported. Now, that could change today. They could reach a deal today. Hopefully they will.
I didn't know if you had fresh insights, since I know you and Joaquin are very close. You guys are drinking buddies.
Yeah, sure. All right. So listen, much love. Bottom line is big love for Paul Giamatti. The fact that Perri and I have him at number 5 means he gets nominated. Jeff, you have him at number 1. He's a lock for a nom. So the question is, Perri, Nemiroff, who is your number 3?
So my number 3, I have a feeling you guys might not have him ranked this highly. I don't know. I'm going with Colman Domingo for Rustin. I mean, I think that's one of his best performances ever. I think there's a lot of great things about that movie, but that movie does not work unless he's able to take that performance to the next level, and he very much does. I also think something about that movie that's going to wind up working in his favor, but unfortunately not the movie's favor overall, is I do think it's one of those films that likely will not get very many nominations, and all the support is going to be funneled towards Coleman's nomination. So I do think he is going to get in here.
All right, Jeff, where do you have Colman on your list, or is he in an honorable mention?
I have him on.
Hey,
I have him making it at number 5.
Number 5 is Colman Domingo.
Sliding in there with that passion vote. I think that the movie itself is maybe a little conventional. I don't know if I see the movie being a major awards juggernaut this season, but he is obviously tremendous in it. It's a fantastic performance, and I do think as of now that he will be recognized.
Okay, this is where the conversation gets very, very interesting.
You don't have him.
Wait a minute. Hang on. So again, when I was doing this list, Perri, like I said, I had Killian at 1, then I moved him to 2, Bradley Cooper to number 1. Colman Domingo, not only did he give I would say, career best performance in Rustin, he also gave another career best, if you will, performance in the movie Sing Sing, which was at Toronto this year, but was picked up and will be released next year, because in addition to Rustin for Best Actor, Colman Domingo might even get nominated for Supporting Actor for The Color Purple. So, that's a lot of, he'd be competing with himself if they've released Sing Sing this year. But when it came to this list, I was doing my list and I had Colman Domingo on my list. And then I thought more about it, and I thought about these other 2 nominees that I have, and I moved Colman Domingo to my number 1 honorable mention. Now, before you jump down my throat, rip my head off, and just sit down my slithering body
down someone's throat and rip their head off.
This is Halloween. Perri gets very into like the Scream movies during Halloween, trying to be clever with Ghostface. I don't know. But okay, he's not penned in at number 1 honorable mention. He's penciled in because I want to talk about my honorable mentions. But before we do, Jeff,
we're all out of order here. Yeah, we got to get this show back into structure.
All right.
So let's have a 4.
Yes. Okay. Let me just take the quarterback reins here for a second. My number 3 is Bradley Cooper from Maestro. Okay.
Yeah.
I do think he has a tremendous chance, and that, like Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti, these are 3 veteran actors who are somewhat overdue. to some extent, in terms of actually being recognized. So I have him at 3. Now, number 4, right? This is the big one, and this is where I'm going to go with Jeffrey Wright from American.
Thank you. Okay, Jeffrey Wright, I have at number.
Did you say your number 5, Jeff?
Oh, I did. It was Colman Domingo.
Okay,
That's right. That's right, folks.
I'm not against what you just did. Okay.
Perri,
so
do you have Jeffrey Wright on your list?
I see American Fiction on Sunday. So, maybe I won't love that as much as I think I will. And things will change again. But from what I understand, Jeffrey Wright is fantastic in this movie. It's obviously been doing well on the festival circuit. Critics have started to seeing it you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say. I have Jeffrey Wright at number 3. Perri, where do you have him?
He's my first honorable mention.
There you go. Now,
but
haven't seen the film yet.
Yes, and I think he's fantastic. Like if I were voting for Academy Award nominations, I would 100% be voting for him. I think he is excellent in that movie, and I see why that movie is winning so many awards. It is very, very clever, smart, thematically hefty, and it's also just like hugely charming and enjoyable to watch. That is another one that I do think won the TIFF Audience Award. It is a good sign that it deserves to be here, and it will be here. But also I put that in the holdovers category, where the more people that see it, the more people are going to fall in love with it, the higher its chances are going to rise.
In addition to all the things that you said about American Fiction, it is also, if you think about it, Perri, it's also kind of a romantic comedy. So there's a lot going on in American Fiction. It juggles a lot of different tones, and it does that balance brilliantly. I think American Fiction is one of the absolute very, very best movies of the year. It is a definite front runner for Best Picture. And I think Jeffrey Wright was my pick over Colman Domingo. And now I have Jeffrey Wright. I think he's a lock for a nomination. I think Jeff will feel differently about it, but right now it's 2 out of 3 on this. So who else is on your list that we haven't discussed yet, Perri?
So my number 4 is someone who was higher up, but is making his way down. And I do see a world where he could fall off the list. And then both, in my opinion, at least, Colman Domingo and Jeffrey Wright could make it onto the list, and Paul Giamatti, because I have him quite low right now as well. My number 4 at this moment in time is Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon. He's Leonardo DiCaprio. That's why he's on this list, if I'm being frank about it. But ever since that movie has been released, the thing that I've heard more so than anything is Lily Gladstone. All the attention is going her way. Best Picture, crafts categories. If anything, when it comes to Leonardo DiCaprio, I keep hearing folks saying it's not his best. And sometimes when it comes to frequent Oscar nominees, that winds up working against them, when no matter what you do, it's going to be weighed against the work that earned you previous nominations and wins. And I think that's going to hurt him here.
I too have Leonardo DiCaprio at number 4. Perri, it's so funny. I agree with everything you said. Perri, I agree with everything you said. I don't think it's Leo's best performance. And I think that, are we at a point where every time Leo makes a movie that he gets nominated sight unseen? I mean, not that people aren't seeing the movie. It made $23 million its opening weekend. Leo was getting nominated. Oh my gosh, he was so good. Was that last a question? Jeff, do you have Leo on your list? Jeff?
Yeah. I knew you were going there.
All right.
I like Jeff's list.
Here's the deal. Jeff Snyder is a man who can learn from his mistakes. Now, last season, I said something to the effect about Black mothers, right? It was about Angela Bassett, and maybe it was about Emmett Till's mother, right? And they're going to have to choose between them, right? Or, you can't have 2. Well, this season, I'm not doing that, okay? Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, Bradley Cooper, these 3 are locks.
Yep. Agreed.
What the Oscar industrial complex is trying to convince me is that Leonardo DiCaprio is a lock as well, and I'm going to have to choose between Jeffrey Wright and Colman Domingo. Choose between one of the 2 big Black performers, right, this season? Guess what? This season, Jeff Snyder's not playing that game. That's right. Jeff Snyder put both of them on, and I'm taking Leonardo DiCaprio off. I think he gets snubbed. This is not his best work. He gets overshone by Lily Gladstone. This is absolutely her movie. De Niro's better than him. I'm sorry. I don't see it. We're just giving him a nomination because he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He didn't earn it here. I'm sorry.
This is how convincing that Jeff is, because I was so on the fence before we went live with this conversation that the prospect of, yes, Bradley Cooper, Cillian Murphy, and Paul Giamatti are locks. We all agree on that. Jeffrey Wright and Colman Domingo. I have Jeffrey Wright on my list already. Colman Domingo is my honorable mention, number one. I agree with both of your points about Leo. I think he gives a good performance. I think he's been better. I mean, he's been nominated. Well, first of all, of course, he won Best Actor for The Revenant. He was nominated for 5 prior acting nominations, and he was also nominated for producing The Wolf of Wall Street. So that's a Best Picture nomination. Jeffrey Wright is a 5-time Emmy nominee. 3 of those were for Westworld. Great show. So the way I'm leaning into this is I already have Jeffrey Wright on my list. I'm going to move Leonardo DiCaprio off my list, move Colman Domingo up. So my 5 would be Bradley Cooper, Cillian Murphy, Paul Giamatti, Jeffrey Wright, and Colman Domingo.
I'll back that list. I will change my list to that list.
I win
Jeff,
again.
you are the man. I'm just the man's, but you are the man. That is how much
my nominees on every episode.
All right, now before we, just sort of like wrap that up, are there any other sort of honorable mentions that could kind of change the game, Perri?
I don't think so. I think we have the 6 that we're likely going to be focused on, depending on what happens with Napoleon. The only other name I think I would take seriously right now is probably Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers, which sadly I haven't seen. Every invite I get, I keep having a conflict with it, but I hear great things about the movie and his work in it, and I do think he's on the bubble. The only other one that I just want to shout out, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's deserving. I do think it's another career best performance that we should be talking about, but we likely won't. It's Gael Garcia Bernal for Cassandra, which is like still, ever since I saw it at Sundance, still in late October, one of my favorite films of 2023. And his work in that movie is absolutely breathtaking. I wish that Amazon Prime Video, MGM, whatever it is, would mount the campaign that he needs to more firmly push him into this conversation.
Okay, that's a really, really great point. And my question for both of you is, one of the most beloved films of the year, which was another film that came out of Sundance, a movie I know you both love, a lot of other people have loved. You know where I'm going. This is Past Lives. So does TOU break in and maybe knock one of these 5 off the list? Jeff, you are sure of that?
I love Past Lives. I'd love it better, more than any of these movies we've talked about. But no, he doesn't have a chance. He's an indie spirit play at best.
If any of the cast from Past Lives breaks into an Oscar category, it's going to be Greta Lee.
I agree. Yes, and and also the actor, the husband, what's his name in that movie? He was great too. All right. I mean, not that I think that this is like a real threat, but Adam Driver for Ferrari. Did you guys see that?
No, not yet. I think that is a real threat. I have him basically at number 9 on my list. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he could. I don't know. These are really, 6, like Perri pointed out, 6 really strong front runners that we got here. But anything else you want to say before we wrap this baby up?
Yeah, I'd like to say we have a whole bunch of super chats.
Oh, let's get to those super chats.
Wait, before we do, wait a second. I'm not done here. Did anybody? Did we mention Andrew Scott yet?
Yes, Perri.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, and by the way, valid. He is excellent.
The thing I just wanted to add about Leo is that I do think, I don't think that we talk about whether it's Cillian, Bradley, Paul Giamatti as like one of the best actors of all time. And yet I do think we talk about Leo as one of the best actors of all time. And because of that, I feel like there's a higher bar that he's set for himself and judged against his other performances. Some people think it is one of his best performances, but I think the majority of people judged against his other work are going to think that it comes up a little short.
I think his best performance is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Right. Whereas like Colman's like, this is his best. Jeffrey Wright, this is supposed to be his best. Like, I think that will actually matter. But anyways, we can continue. What are the super
Okay,
chats?
continue, Perry.
Super chat time. We've got Zach here with a question. Hello, gang. Question regarding future Oscar contender, The Movie Critic. What do you think would be a good lead actor? I think Seth Rogen would do a good job as a critic who writes for a porno mag.
Yeah, Seth Rogen would, first of all, it's a great question, Zach. I think Seth Rogen would be pretty good. I think Paul Giamatti, speaking of which, would actually, with given his performance in The Holdovers and Sideways, sort of like this bitter, lonely guy, later in life who's still, grinding movie reviews for, a magazine that probably nobody reads other than perverts. I think Paul Giamatti would be perfect for that.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have been introducing myself around town lately as Jeff Giamatti, and I have been taking acting lessons. This is true. This is a true fact.
Really? You're taking acting lessons?
I've been posing as Paul Giamatti's cousin for months now.
Everybody wants to be a fucking actor, I swear to God. Perry, what do you think? Who do you think
I would legit believe this is true now, Jeff.
Quentin, you should definitely consider me, okay? Because I actually interviewed to write for a porno rag once.
I would believe
I
this.
do actually believe that the person who is rumored to have this role would be perfect for it. It is a person who loves movies, who, like that Perry and Scott and I have been in the Schmodown, and that is Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say Kevin Smith. He would actually probably be pretty good too.
Paul Walter Hauser has been rumored for the lead role in The Movie Critic. I don't know if it'll actually happen or not, but Paul knows his stuff and he loves movies, and I think he is an actor, who could be the lead in a Tarantino movie surrounded by, the right talent.
I'm into that idea. I'll get behind that. All right, we have double super stickers from Ricardo here. So we can't see super stickers in StreamYard, but when we go back and rewatch the stream, Ricardo, we will look at those super stickers and appreciate them. Thank you so
Ricardo.
much for your super chats. All right. Tyler's up next. Great seeing you at the Chinese Theater, Scott. My question, who's an actor won't get a nomination, but would like to see them get one regardless?
Oh, that's a really great question. I mean, look, I just mentioned TOU. I had him on my list because I would love to see him get a nomination, but I think the competition is pretty fierce. I thought, I mean, it's never going to happen, but one movie that was really great this year that came out so long ago, it feels like last year, was Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. And I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was fantastic in that movie. He was excellent in Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, but I can't see them really mounting a push for that. And it's also been so long that, it doesn't even feel like it came out in 2023, but that is an excellent question, Tyler.
I'll repeat Gael Garcia Bernal. I think he should get a nomination. I think I mentioned Tiana Taylor in our Best Actress conversation as well. I mean, I guess I have to throw Greta Lee back in the chat too, because anything I could say to manifest some of these would be wonderful. But I feel like all of them are too far outside the realm of possibility. It's not going to happen, and it breaks my heart.
The answer to this question is Glenn Howerton for Black Bear.
Oh, definitely.
Good pick.
I don't think he's going to ultimately get in, but God, does he deserve it?
Wait a minute.
They're pushing Blackberry though, and I feel like that's one of those situations where like all the Blackberry buzz is kind of being funneled in his direction. So you never know.
But I don't know that I have the faith in Oscar voters.
Yeah.
But Jeff, does he get lead actor or supporting?
Supporting.
All right. Well, then I think he really has a chance because I watched that movie on the plane last week. I like the film a lot, but I watched it because I think he's great.
I will go door to door for that performance. If IFC will hire me, you literally can't.
It's great. I agree with you. All right, what else we got, Perri Nemiroff?
That's a Oscar promoting like 2.0. Next year, Jeff Snyder goes door to door vouching for the movies he cares about.
Once you guys find out what I'm working on, I'm willing to get crazy with my ideas.
Oh boy, I can't even begin to imagine. Ricardo's got 2 more super stickers for us to look at later. So thank you again for these, my friend. It's good to see you here again. And finally, we have Trevor taking us home. Lily Gladstone should 100% get a Best Actress nomination over Leo getting a Best Actor nomination. I hope Cillian Murphy wins. Such a haunting performance.
So I know that, when we were talking about Best Actress, I was kind of, I guess I was kind of down on Lily Gladstone. I mean, I thought about it
Mhm.
after the fact, and I mean, I definitely, I mean, I think she's very strong in the film. I guess I just had my heart set on the other nominees, potential nominees we were discussing, and given her amount of screen time compared to, like, Leo or even De Niro in the film, I just wasn't sure, like, I was like, is she really getting nominated for Best Actor? Shouldn't that be a supporting actor role? But Jeff, you think that could go either way. You actually do think that she deserves a lead actress nomination.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
By the way, the name in the chat that a lot of people are bringing up. Did any of you guys see Saltburn?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Barry Keoghan for Saltburn. Yeah, absolutely.
He's so good in Saltburn. I feel like Saltburn overall is not going to be like Oscar-y enough to break through, even with all of the success that Promising Young Woman had. But I will say Barry has a couple shots in that movie that are burned in my brain for life. I still can't believe I watched that in a film, and that movie is just like fucking so wrong, but so wonderful at the same time. I love it.
It's funny. I think his performance is, incredible. Go for broke. Really takes big swings on it. But at the same time, I wish I could unsee that last moment with him on film. I mean,
I can't
anyway.
wait for the world to experience Saltburn. Oh wait, we got a big one. Oh, this time Ricardo's got a question for us. What's your favorite Wes Carpenter movie?
Wes Carpenter? You mean Wes?
Yeah. So now we get to say both. What's your favorite Wes Craven movie? What's your favorite John Carpenter movie?
Oh, well, John Carpenter, my favorite John Carpenter easily is John Carpenter's The Thing, which is still a masterpiece movie. It holds up in every possible way with practical visual effects that are still very impressive. No CGI there. My favorite Wes Craven movie, I got to go, Perry, with your Star Trek, which is Scream, the first Scream movie.
I'll use this as an excuse to show something off again. I showed it on the Merry Hour, but it deserves like 2 viewings.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
someone made me one of the coolest things that I've ever been gifted in my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sam from my Patreon team made this for me, and he's like an expert, like Lego craftsman, and this entire thing, including the frame itself, is made of Legos.
That's amazing.
So Scream is my favorite Wes Craven movie, obviously. Halloween is my favorite John Carpenter movie, but just to throw in like another, I guess an unexpected one, I'll say I have a little obsession with Christine. I could watch that movie over and over and over, and also listen to the audiobook over and over and over again too.
Starman is a masterpiece as well. Jeff, what about you? Your favorite Wes Craven?
I'm with Perry on Scream is my favorite Wes Craven, and Halloween is my favorite John Carpenter. And if I had to pick a runner-up, it would be Big Trouble in Little China.
I will say, just as an honorable mention for Wes Craven, movie that I absolutely love that never gets talked about is Red Eye from 2005.
Red Eye is great.
Rachel McAdams and future Oscar hopeful nominee Cillian Murphy. That movie came out 2005, and it is so much fun. I love it.
I do hope this was a direct Scream reference. I also read something that a friend wrote recently, and they called a character Wes Carpenter, and I'm like, yes, I like that.
Okay, I dig it. Anything else, Perry, before we close this baby out?
We are clear. I will say a big thank you to everybody who submitted super chats today. We love hearing from you. So the opportunity to get to do these FYC episodes live is just an extra special treat. So thank you all for being here today.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you for doing your due diligence and being sure to share FYC on all of your social media platforms, because there are a lot of people who don't even know about us who should know about us, because when push comes to shove, I think the 3 of us will agree that after doing this for 4 years now, that FYC is the best, the most informed, the most knowledgeable, the most provocative, the most entertaining award season show that you will see anywhere on the face of this planet and every other planet in the solar system and beyond. So share FYC on your social media platforms. Be sure to subscribe to Perri Nemiroff's channel. If you haven't already done so, just, scroll down a little bit, hit the subscribe button. It's that easy. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think of our picks for today. And make sure you catch Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic with Johnny Roca on John Roca's YouTube channel. That show is breaking more news than all of the trades combined. So be sure to watch that show as well. It is the Hot Mic on John Roca's channel. Make sure you join us next week and every week from now until the beginning of March for brand new episodes of FYC covering Oscar season and Emmy season, because the Emmys, with any luck, will still happen this coming January. So we got to get back to that too. So until next time on FYC, on behalf of the amazing Perri Nemiroff, on behalf of the mighty Jeff Snyder, FYC.
See you later.